The Last Rockstars are probably the biggest thing happening in Japanese music right now, and we'll soon be playing some shows live with our channel favourites, BAND-MAID. So the question is, who are the Last Rockstars? Is this going to be great? And what does it mean for BAND-MAID? Let's get into unpacking this like usual. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're going to get into, first of all, talking about who the Last Rockstars are, just in case you've been living under a rock for the last couple of months. But ever since this was announced, this is something that a lot of us have been keeping our eyes on, because the Last Rockstars are made up of four really big names in Japanese music. I am more familiar with two of them than the other two. We've got Yoshiki from X-Japan and Miyavi. We've also got Hide, who is from L'Arc-en-Ciel and Vamps, apparently. I didn't know that. And Sugizo, who is from X-Japan as well, although I don't know a huge amount about Sugizo, if I'm entirely honest with you. Now, Yoshiki is one of these huge names that just kind of goes beyond, you know, it's just kind of like almost a household name. And when it comes to Miyavi, I've got to be honest, Miyavi, a solo performer, very good reputation. I interviewed him about 10 years ago, I think it was, when he was doing a tour in London. And I got the chance to do the interview, but also get to see the show free of charge. And it was a show where he was just performing, playing guitar and singing, and a drummer. And that was it. Now, when we did the interview, I was not blown away by him in the interview setting, to put it politely. But then when we came to the show, wow. I mean, the guy just, he had a drummer, fair enough, but he didn't need it. He just filled the stage. There was no pyrotechnics, nothing. It was just him performing, and wow, he was such a rock star. And this is what really is the point. These are four names who are associated with acts and just performances. They are rock stars. You know, they carry themselves as rock stars. They perform as rock stars. They have reputations of rock stars. And so this is going to be a huge thing that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to. So the question is, well, what do we know about them so far? Well, they dropped a little teaser video, and that kind of gave us a feel for what some of their songs are going to maybe sound like. Now, I've heard a lot of people give very differing opinions on this teaser video they dropped. Some people didn't really like it, some people did. I must admit that it depends on what you're really expecting, but it was kind of what I was expecting from them, and I felt it did it in a really good way. See, the songs in question, they had a real sort of rock energy, but in a sort of a catchy, accessible way. I don't want to say they sounded pop, but they kind of sounded arena-y, like something that everyone could sing along to. There would be something not too difficult to get into, as I point out. Now, of course, a lot of us are thinking the Last Rockstars, is it going to be some impressive show of skill? But I don't think that's their intention. In fact, one of their quotes, they said they aim to the international market beyond Japan, and I think they mean that in much more of a breaking out into the more popular market, you know, kind of like we saw with artists like Baby Metal. What made them so popular wasn't just the craziness, but also the ability to do something that general people who might not normally be into that type of music could get into, that would be accessible for a lot more people, and I think that's what they did there. Now, this is not to say that the video didn't highlight two songs that seem to be quite different, but they did both have very clear, good production that was there to, you know, add clarity, add precision, rather than to make it sound overproduced. You know, it wasn't full of effects, just nice, crisp production, and, you know, it just looked like something that was accessible but not cookie cutter. I felt that, at least as a teaser, it gave me a good vibe for what we expected. Yeah, it's not going to blow you away, but I don't think that's what they're aiming to do. I mean, after all, they're kind of rocking up as the Last Rockstars. You know, they've already got their reputation set for them. This is not so much about trying to, you know, completely prove themselves. This is just a case of taking what they've already got and running with it as a quartet of four very famous Japanese already proven rock stars. And so, yeah, I got the feeling that the tone of the teaser, kind of what I expected. So the question is, BAND-MAID, how is this going to be for them? Is this going to be a good choice for them to perform together? Well, to really answer that, we have to kind of rewind back to what I said a couple of years or so ago when I was doing a video about BAND-MAID first joining up with the Pony Canyon record label. Now, Pony Canyon are a record label who very much focused on big names inside Japan. They don't really so much deal with international music, but they're really good with Japanese artists and making Japanese artists work in the Japanese music industry, which is its kind of its own thing. It's its own little ecosystem that is quite different from music industries in other countries. BAND-MAID, however, are a group who have built a lot of their fame really on just slowly word of mouth through the internet with a primarily international fan base. you know, they've really grown this huge fan base of people outside of Japan. Now, so that would sound like them and Pony Canyon would be a bad mix. However, as I pointed out at the time, Pony Canyon are, I think, such an effective record label because they often know what their artists are. They don't try to change their artists a lot of the time. They try to work with what their artists are good at, play towards their strengths. And this, I think, was very much proven by the fact the first two releases we got from BAND-MAID after joining Pony Canyon definitely went in that direction of being more rock. You know, they were really playing to their core sound, their core audience. They were doing much more technical stuff. It was clear that Pony Canyon wanted to not hold them back from being that kind of band. And of course their fame has grown, but at the same time Pony Canyon, I get the feeling, have connected them with more interesting opportunities in Japan. And this, I think, is probably what's led to something like this. You know, when you've got a record company like Pony Canyon, you're likely to get attached to this kind of project. Now, is that a good thing? Yes, this is a really good thing, I think, for BAND-MAID, because of the fact that BAND-MAID are like a group who, they're, like I say, they've got this fame growing internationally. So then they can go along with a group like this who are going to bring in loads of international fans anyway, because if you've heard of Japanese rock music, you've probably heard of X-Japan, you've probably heard of Miyavi. These are names that are probably still more famous outside of Japan than BAND-MAID are. But you'll be able there to go there and appeal to the very sorts of fans you want to connect to. International people who are already open to Japanese music, who maybe just haven't heard you yet. And of course, you're going to be going to a show probably with a lot of other people who maybe have heard of you, which means you're going to be part of a whole hype. It's a great place to just get into the band for the first time. It's going to be great for expanding their fame out. I heard that 2 of the shows had already sold out before BAND-MAID were even announced as the opening artist. And if that's the case, great. That just means more green fans who didn't know they were going to get this and, you know, might be leaving as new fans. It's going to be a fantastic way to expand their fan base. But at the same time, as I said, there's going to be a lot of people in Japan watching this, watching their homegrown heroes from X-Japan, from Larkon Seal, going overseas. They're going to be excited to see the artists they love performing overseas to a new group of fans. And so they as well are going to be seeing BAND-MAID as the opening act. And it's going to enforce a strong, positive message between them and everyone else. My big question, Last Rockstars, you're big, you're super famous. Oh no. BAND-MAID, that's a tough act to follow. Now, I know that my fandom is clearly in one corner, but just saying, you're going to have to bring your A game for this one. Now, obviously, I'm slightly joking because we know Last Rockstars, as I said already about Miyavi, and we know about X-Japan. These are artists who really know how to just burst into a venue and just fill the stage. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of the pyrotechnics and everything built around them. And as we already know, a lot of the ticket buyers are buying the tickets to see their heroes already. So I'm sure it's not going to be that. But I do think it is going to be genuinely interesting seeing how much power BAND-MAID can put in their opening stint. You know, what songs they play. I imagine they're going to go for songs that fit in with the mood of the lead artist, but I just think it's going to be fantastic. So as always, get in the comments, tell me what you think. I'd be really interested to know, how do you think it's going to be? How would you feel seeing a show with BAND-MAID and Last Rockstars? Do you think it's going to be a good balance? Do you think it's going to be an interesting? How do you think that's going to play out? Are you one of the people who's got tickets to see this? If you are a Last Rockstars fan, tell me what you're feeling about this combination, what you're expecting to see from them as an artist. There are so many interesting things that I think are going to come from this, and they're going to keep us talking for a while. But for now, it's mostly conjecture. Those are my thoughts at this point. I'm looking forward to seeing what you see. Do all the liking and subscribing stuff so we can talk again about this soon, until I hopefully see you in Japan soon for the next one of these. For now though, ciao ciao.